Thank you very much, Kaka Edison Waromi, all the way from homeland, living with the enemies in West Papua. Our next speaker is Herman Wainggai. Herman is from Yapen Islands in West Papua. He has lived in America since 2010, where he has made the UN building in New York his home away from home. Later this year, he will be presenting your tree planting video to UN Secretary General Guterres. Herman's passion for political development was inspired by his father brother, Dr. Thomas Wainggai, who brought in West Papua freedom struggle in 1980s to include academics, students, women, and the youth. Dr. Thomas was poisoned in Chipinang prisons in 1996. Herman was also political prisoner for leading youth non-violence resistance. In 2006, he led 42 West Papuan in traditional double outrigger canoe to Australia, where they were granted political asylum, and I was on that canoe with him. Herman is committed to non-violence, justice, and peace in his work as an activist and politician. In 2016, George Mason University, where he was visiting scholar, nominated him for Nobel Peace Prize. Today, Herman is talking about the decolonization program that Secretary General Hammarskjold has prepared for West Papua, but with his assassination prevent him from presenting to the 1961 General Assembly. Please welcome Herman Wainggai.
Thank you, Adolf Mora, and also our friends in Australia. Especially thank you for the Federal Republic of West Papua Women Office organize this important meeting, and we all can join and talk about our role for our people back home in West Papua. I do believe that we know where is West Papua located. It's very close to Australia and Papua New Guinea, your neighbor. 30 years ago, I was in West Papua, witnessed what happened to my uncle and all the West Papuan leaders who were arrested and spent long time jail. Today, 30 years later, today I'm in America. And also today, we are looking at the Hammarskjöld decolonization program for West Papua in 1961, which remains unresolved to this very day. In 1961, the United Nations Swedish Secretary General had developed a formula that solved the long-standing legal issue of who are West Papua. Was it Indonesia, as Indonesia had tried to claim since 1950, or was it the Dutch as the administrating power of the non-governing territory since 1950? No. The Swedish visionary removed all power from foreign powers, particularly the Dutch government and Indonesia, while recognizing West Papuan sovereignty over Melanesian Papuan land and people. And his program included appointing UN technical officer to assist an independent West Papuan government for just 5 years. If he had lived to pursue this decolonization program in the UN General Assembly, West Papua will not be an Indonesia colony today. The Secretary General had developed the decolonization program which the Netherlands government formally approved it. And he had consulted President John F. Kennedy, who also approved it. He talked to the powerful Economic Council in New York on this subject. And he even consulted General MacArthur, who back in 1944 with Dutch resident Jan van Gogh set up 3 important institutions and gatherings for independent nation. Without Mr. Hammarskjöld's influential and authoritative presence, the UN General Assembly at the time would not pass the motion. In other words, the UN failed to adopt self-determination in the context of the non-self-governing territory of the Dutch New Guinea. They opened the way for an American diplomat appointed by Acting Secretary General Yutan to mediate an agreement that facilitates Indonesian incorporation or administration of West Papua. They ignore everything that Mr. Hammarskjold had to achieve earlier. I want to conclude by shifting focus to the Roman Agreement on September 30 in 1962, which was signed a year after the colonization agreement and the UN resolution of 1961. Dr. Tom Wainggai made the contents of the Roman Agreement a huge part of his legal defense. He argued that according to this agreement, Indonesia was supposed to administer West Papua only 25 years. The idea was for Indonesia to prepare West Papua. So the idea was the idea for Indonesia to prepare West Papua for self-determination or independence. That 20 years period began on May 1st, 1963 to May 1st, 1988. This was the basis of the Dr. Tom Wainggai argument and proclamation of the independent state of Western Melanesia on December 14, 1988. In fact, all colonized people should have been granted independence based on the United Nations General Assembly Resolution number 1514, 1961. Apparently, Indonesia and the UN didn't honor this agreement. So we maintain that the Dr. Tom's legal argument are still relevant to Mr. Dag Hammarskjöld's work, and the UN today need to take his argument seriously and grant West Papua Melanesian independence. Not doing this is miscarriage of justice. Thank you.